Hi guys! Today, I'm going to recap a 2019 romantic comedy movie called Plus One. This movie is about a pair of best friends trying to find their true love amidst all their friends' marriages. So, will their love life end well? Let's find out. Ben and Alice are a pair of best friends who have known each other since college. They're both getting to the age where each and every one of their mates are getting their love life sorted out. To be frank, they're getting annoyed and bored from attending all these weddings. They can't stand watching all their friends settle down while the two of them are a mess. One day, Ben is tasked to give a speech at his friend's wedding. Alice would help him out at repairing his speech, since his first script was a total mess. And thanks to her, the speech went swimmingly. At the dinner table, Alice would start getting drunk from the alcohol provided while Ben makes his move at one of his ex-classmates. Things were going well, the two of them seemed to be enjoying their time together. Just as Ben leans in for a kiss, the woman pushes him away and shows her hand. A ring is already on her ring finger. Embarrassed, Ben would flee the scene and return to his hotel, where a drunk Alice is already waiting alone. Ben tells her about his failure of a night, causing her to start crying for him. Frustrated, the two make a deal to be a couple and tackle all the upcoming weddings their friends have in store for them. They also agree to help each other find love. The next day, Ben and Alice return to their respective homes. Ben decides to pay his father a visit and to his surprise, he finds a new face in the household. His divorced dad has found a new girlfriend, Gina. Afterwards, Ben and his dad would go golfing together, where his dad tells Ben that he's getting married with Gina soon, and would like Ben to be his best man. Ben is shocked from his sudden request, and at the same time frustrated that even his old man is getting married once more. He doesn't give his dad an answer to his request and tells him that he needs some time to think about it. A few days later, the gauntlet of weddings starts for Ben and Alice. They hit the road and tackle them one by one. As per agreement, they would also try to find each other a real date. Alice's methods are more aggressive and forceful, pushing Ben right onto the women he finds attractive. Things don't go too well, as they all seem to be good for mere one night and nothing more serious than that. Ben wants to have a serious relationship, not these casual flings. However, Ben and Alice themselves start getting closer with one another. They would sleep together on one bed, Alice even teasing Ben while sharing a bed together late at night. The bond between the two close friends only grows closer over all these weddings. At one of the occasions, they attend a wedding and meet Ben's dad with Gina there. Ben introduces Alice as his close friend to his dad. Alice would hear about Ben's dad's wedding and how badly he wants Ben to be his best man. She slowly grew uncomfortable, talking about more weddings, and after a short while, Alice gets up to get some drinks. Ben's dad wastes no time to ask his son more about Alice and also about his previous request, where Ben's answer remains the same. As the night continues, Ben goes outside where he finds Alice drunk with his dad's friends and takes her to get some fresh air. They decide to get into the pool with other attendees of the wedding and have fun together. After a while, the other attendees would step out of the pool, but Ben and Alice remain. The two start having a deep talk about their family. Alice tells him to be more grateful that his parents split up, unlike hers who don't like each other. They would constantly yell at each other and have quarrels in their household, creating a terrible environment for their children. Alice thinks it's better to hurt badly one time because of a divorce, instead of constantly seeing her parents fight for years. The two hug it out, finally realizing that they were alone in the pool and how late it was. They get out and change to their previous attire, only to find that they've missed the bus because of how late it is. With no other choice, they decide to walk their way back to their hotel with no navigation, since both of their phones are dead. After walking for miles, they arrive at a cemetery. They start running through the cemetery to get to the highway, but Alice trips and falls to the ground. Ben tries to help tend a cut on her arm and their eyes meet. They start embracing and kissing each other right after, and eventually do the deed in the middle of the cemetery. The next morning, they are woken up by a guard and immediately run back to their hotel. After the incident, they would return to their home and decide not to discuss too much about what happened the previous night. A few weeks later, Ben and Alice meet once again to attend a wedding in Hawaii. At said wedding, the pair's mutual attraction continues to be shown, eventually leading to a start of their romantic relationship with one another. The news quickly spread and their friends start congratulating the new couple. Afterwards, they even stay at the hotel for a few more days after the wedding to spend more time together. A few days later, they return and attend another marriage. This time, it's Alice's sister's wedding. There, Ben experiences how much of a mess Alice's family is. They are uncoordinated in preparing their own daughter's wedding and constantly argue in front of him. Ben isn't left out from all the yelling, since he also gets scolded by Alice's mother for not being too much of a help. As night falls, the exhausted Ben lies on the bed to get some rest. Not long after, Alice gets on top of him, wanting some spicy action with her boyfriend. However, Ben stops her, telling her that she had received a text message from her ex. Alice tells him that she doesn't care about it, but Ben's mood was already quite bad from his tiring day and the text. They decide to call it a day and get some shut-eye, despite Alice's desire to spend more time together with him. The next day, Alice's sister's wedding continues, her mother still all over the place and constantly panicking. Despite all that, the wedding ends well. A few weeks later, Ben and Alice would attend another wedding. The night starts quite poorly for the two of them, as Alice has forgotten to bring Ben's present, leaving it back home. Alice tries her best to cheer him up and tells him that it is no big deal, but Ben is clearly upset. He rambles on about how he wants to watch his friend's reaction to the gift, but Alice keeps telling him that it isn't that important. The two eventually get to the bride and groom, congratulating them on their special day. Alice mentions their forgotten present and they tell Ben and Alice not to worry about it, since they don't really care about it. Not long afterwards, Ben yells at Alice and grabs everyone's attention as a result. He decides to leave Alice to get some space for himself. After smoking outside for a while, Alice comes over to confront Ben. Their argument continues and gets even worse. Ben is having doubts on their future together and doesn't want to hurt Alice, while she says that it's normal to have doubts. Unfortunately, Ben disagrees with Alice's opinion. Eventually, their relationship ends. Over the next few weeks, Ben continues to attend more and more weddings. This time, without Alice, his date. Ben is back to his old self, trying to pick up girls and find his true love, failing miserably each time. Most of the wedding attendees start labeling him as a creep and avoid him. Seeing this, his friend, Matt, steps in and takes him to a secluded place for a chat. There, Ben tells Matt about what had happened and what his opinion was. He tells Matt how he wants the perfect relationship, where no doubts are present and happiness is all he experiences together with his bride. Matt tells him that that is not possible. Even him, a newly married man, still has doubts. However, that is okay and normal. Marriage doesn't mean that you are 100% certain in the relationship. Things change, and quarrels are inevitable. After receiving the advice, Ben finally realizes how big of a mistake he has made. A few weeks later, Ben attends a wedding which he and Alice had promised to attend together. He brings flowers, wanting to apologize to Alice. He would soon meet Alice, but she wasn't alone. She has Nate, his ex, alongside her. Disappointed, Ben decides not to give Alice the flowers. However, Ben isn't giving up just yet. He confronts Alice and apologizes, admitting how wrong his opinion was and how right Alice was. He also confesses to Alice for the first time, telling her how much he loves her. Just as Alice was going to reply, Nate steps in and interrupts the two. He takes Alice away and Ben is left alone once more. Night falls and Ben is on the way home from the wedding. His dad gives him a call and asks him to pick him up at his bachelor's party. Arriving there, Ben picks his dad along with his drunk friends up. After dropping his friends off, Ben and his dad start having a deep conversation. Ben opens up regarding his opinion of his father's remarriage, since his view of love contradicts his father's remarriage. His father apologizes for what he has done, not realizing the impact it has inflicted on his own son. He tells Ben that he still treasures the moments he had with Ben's mother. He would have been nothing if he hadn't met her, and he wouldn't have had Ben as his precious son. Ben finally agrees to be his father's best man at his marriage. The two finally made up and reconciled, returning home. The night doesn't end there, however. Arriving home, Ben finds a familiar face waiting by the front porch. Alice was there, awaiting Ben's arrival. The two made up and Alice gives Ben his much undeserved second chance at their relationship. Days later, Ben and Alice would attend his father's wedding and he would give a speech on his experiences the past few months. He tells everyone how his initial view of love was, how he believed in fate and the perfect person, instead of trying things out and seeing if things go well. He didn't like the idea of having multiple marriages, but his eyes are now open, seeing how stupid he was for having such thoughts beforehand. It's completely normal to screw up and make mistakes. What matters is how you bounce back and learn from all those mistakes. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.